All right, guys. So I just saw the AJ versus Andy Ruiz rematch, and I'm just showing you right here. As you can see, I watched it on the zone because I pay for my to watch the fights. I don't I don't like illegally stream it. So as you can see, I saw this on the zone. I pay for my subscription to watch this fight. AJ won the fight. He's regained his titles. Now, three things won AJ this fight, okay? Three things. Number one, a jab. Number two, his legs. Number three, clinching. Now, when AJ first got defeated by, Ruiz, I made several videos saying that he needed to learn how to clinch, he needed to lose weight, and he needed to move in the rematch. And if you saw this fight, the thing you noticed immediately was how skinny AJ was. I mean, this guy looked really skinny. And one thing I noticed in this fight was his endurance was way better. My biggest criticism of him always was his endurance. This guy was always gassing out, but he managed to go 12 rounds and he never looked tired. He was always up on his tippy toes. So he did what he was supposed to do in this rematch, okay? Everybody was saying that AJ had to use his legs. He had to move, he had to box. Because when Andy Ruiz fought Joseph Parker never fought Andy Ruiz toe-to-toe. He used his legs. So that's what AJ did. He went back to his roots. I believe he used to fight like this when he was in the amateurs in the Olympics. He lost all that muscle. And I think this is good that he lost all that muscle because, like I said, I think the muscle was getting him so tired. He so exhausted. It was gassing him out. But he was full of energy in this fight. That was the thing I was looking at the most. Would he be able to stay on his toes the whole fight? I will say this: the thing I didn't like about Andy Ruiz was I think Andy Ruiz's game plan. I think his whole game plan was Anthony Joshua is gonna bound to get tired. He can't do this for 12 rounds, and when he bounds to get and when he eventually gets tired, I'm gonna be able to fight him toe to toe, and I'll knock him out. And that seemed to be his only game plan. He wasn't stalking Anthony Joshua. If you got a boxer like if you're fighting somebody like Joshua, like the way Joshua was fighting tonight, you gotta walk him down. You gotta do it, Joe Frazier. Ali was boxing and moving around Joe Frazier, but you know what Joe Frazier did? He fucking stalked Ali. He fucking chopped him down. That's what you gotta do. But the thing about Andy Ruiz is he got fast legs. He got super fast legs. He got super fast hands speed, but he's so slow. He's so slow. And he never stalked Anthony Joshua down. He was just waiting and waiting. That was his whole game plan. Oh, I'm going to wait until, Joshua gasses out eventually. It never happened, bro. Joshua never got tired. Joshua stayed on his tippy toes. Amazing, great endurance. So clearly he improved his endurance. And clearly him losing that muscle, that weight, helped him out, okay? Because he looked better in there. The thing I will say, though, is this fight was not as entertaining as the first fight, obviously, because in the first fight, Joshua was coming forward. So we had fireworks. But in this fight, Joshua was constantly moving. So the fight wasn't as entertaining. We had some moments where, Joshua was, getting clipped a bit, or he was hurting Andy Ruiz, but it wasn't as entertaining as the first fight. But again, Joshua is a boxer. You have to fight these kind of styles in order to win a fight. He did what he had to do. I do think that Andy Ruiz, I didn't like the fact that he gained all this weight in the rematch. This dude was 15 pounds heavier. Come on, bro. That didn't help him at all. You could tell he looked fat. He looked like Dillian White in there, Dillian White looked really fat tonight. But I know I haven't made a video in a long time. Like I said, I took a break from this, and I'm still gonna take a break from it because I'm doing game development. I'm creating games. I'm learning how to code games. So, but I had to see this rematch. Okay, so Joshua is the champion again. Did what he had to do. Again, the fight, he didn't knock out. I know he and his trainer and his fans wanted to see him knock out Andy Ruiz. It didn't happen. But again, I think the main reason why that didn't happen, why he couldn't get the knockout, was because the way he fought. Joshua, I think is at his most, especially his punches, he's at his most dangerous when he's coming forward, because that's when he could really knock a guy out. But when you're constantly in the back foot, and he wasn't taking chances. I like the fact that he kept clinching. Every time Ruiz would get in close, he'll clinch him like a Klitschko. I think I heard he was with Klitschko and Klitschko was helping him out. I think Klitschko clearly told him, "Hey, clinch when he gets on the inside." So now we're back to how it was at the start of the year. Joshua was the champion. Now everyone's going to be talking about, we shouldn't feel too bad for Andy Ruiz. He was the first Mexican-American heavyweight champion, he will always be in the history books. People are going to call him a one-hit wonder, but at the end of the day, he will always be able to say he was a champion. And he didn't get destroyed, like Buster Douglas got destroyed against Evander Holyfield. So at least he went out trying. But like I said, I think he came in too fat, and he had a terrible game plan. Like, you can't just expect the guy to gas. I think that was his whole game plan. I'm gonna just try and wait until he gasses out and I'll catch him. But obviously Joshua was in great condition when it comes to endurance. But now, since Joshua was a champion again, you know what's gonna happen. It's gonna go back to the whole Joshua versus Wilder, the whole fucking nonsense where everyone's saying, okay, Joshua's ducking Wilder, Wilder's ducking Joshua. It's going to be all this again. I don't want to see a rematch. They already fought. I hope they move on with their careers. I hope Joshua announces I believe he's going to have to defend his belt. I believe he needs to fight Kurat Pulev or one of those dudes. I believe, because he has like mandatories now. Again, don't feel too bad for Andy Ruiz. He made like $9 million, or was it $13 million in this fight? So he's a very wealthy man. He could retire right now. He could retire and walk away from the sport of boxing right now. Because he's made a lot of money in these two back-to-back fights. I wouldn't be shocked if Andy Ruiz retired. He should, though, because he's never gonna get these big paydays. But again, the thing that was so funny was the way Eddie Hearn was like fucking celebrating after the fight was over. Like, he celebrated the exact same way Andy Ruiz celebrated. I think he did it on purpose, because the way Andy Ruiz celebrated with his trainer jumping up and down and stuff, and he was kind of like imitating the same thing. I think he did it on purpose, jumping up and down. But listen, I just hope that we could get a undisputed champion, but it's never gonna happen. I don't have no hope in that, but I do still hope that eventually Wilder and Joshua, because they're gonna do this whole debate again online. You know how everybody is online. They're gonna, these two are gonna eventually fight. They're ducking each other. But yeah, congratulations to Joshua. I hated on Joshua. I talked a lot of shit about him, but listen, it's just boxing. You shouldn't take everything serious. And I'm not focused on boxing anymore. Like I said, I'm focused on other things in my life, like game development. So yeah, congratulations to Joshua. He's the champion again, and hopefully they get to. Hopefully we get to see him fight Wilder in the future. But like I said, I liked what I saw from Joshua. It was kind of a lackluster performance, but he used his legs in this fight. He used his jab in this fight. He used his clinch. He clinched a lot. Anyway, guys, all I have to say, I'm out.